Hello and welcome to Outside Xbox. You're watching Show of the Week. I'm Andy.
And I'm Jane. This week I cemented my position in the pro gamer community with my stellar performance against the Call of Duty Elite at E3.
Flanking around.
Flanking, charging.
Like, oh! Yes! Oh my god, that was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Do you see that guy? He was all like, "Ugh," and you were like, no, not on my watch, my friend. And then you were like, blah, and he was
what
like,
I call that is the Jane panic stab.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, so now I'm getting into the lucrative world of professional esports coaching, starting with the patented Jane panic stab system.
Patent pending.
Yeah, for the one-off low price of $19.99. I will send you a pamphlet explaining how you can pull off this unbeatable MLG tactic.
Is that what this is about?
What it's about, Andy, is $20, so fork it over.
Fine. Well, luckily they also had the kind of games that I enjoy at E3.
What, was it some kind of cowboy dress-up game?
No.
Well, what was it then?
Hello? Sebastian, are you there?
Actually, Jane, I meant The Evil Within 2. See, my interests extend beyond cowboy dress-up to games that are the sequel to 2014's survival horror nightmare generator, The Evil Within. Just recently announced at E3, The Evil Within 2 continues the story of the first game, which revolved around STEM, a system that allowed people to enter a network of linked minds controlled by a main mind at the centre. In the original Evil Within, this mind belonged to Ruvik, a spooky guy less stable than a two-legged table, with the result that you spent the entire game trapped in the kind of tormented hellscape that would give Hieronymus Bosch nightmares. Set 3 years after that game, The Evil Within 2 once again follows Detective Sebastian Castellanos, only this time he's on a much more personal quest than before. Sebastian is now at rock bottom on account of how nobody believes his story of his experiences in the first game. To be fair, the story "I was in a Resident Evil house with brain surgery for locks" is a tough sell, Seb. Don't take it to heart. That's when Juli Kidman from the first game returns to let him know that the daughter he thought he'd lost in a fire years ago is actually alive somewhere, and he'll need to dive back into STEM to rescue her.
You're gonna need to go back into STEM. Again.
The end of the last game left things ambiguous to say the least. Ruvik isn't in charge anymore, but don't think that means you're getting an easy ride, if what we've seen so far is anything to go by. Why is there a penguin? And do I even want to know? The Evil Within 2 is out on Friday the 13th of October, officially the spookiest date there is, and Bethesda has promised more of an emphasis on psychological horror this time around, which, considering the first game, is really saying something. At any rate, it looks like it won't be short on scares. Just know that you'll be getting my electricity bill when I have to leave the lights on 24/7, Bethesda.
So you remember what happened at the end of the last game?
Sure do.
Really?
Nope, but I do remember being very confused at the end.
Yeah, tell me about it.
This new one better have some answers for me, is all I'm saying.
Answers to what?
You didn't find what you were looking for because they didn't want you to. But I'm here now, and I have the answers you're seeking.
I hope you do, Julie, because I have a lot of questions I need answered in The Evil Within 2, and some of them aren't even about Sebastian Castellanos' hair care regime. Here are the 5 most pressing, with some spoilers ahead for The Evil Within 1. You'll remember Ruvik as the bad guy in the original Evil Within.
I know what you crave, what you fear. Will you be able to live with yourself knowing what I'm gonna make you do?
Nice guy. You'll also remember, if you finished the game, that we might have stamped on his brain a bit. Hope those weren't new shoes. You'd think that would be the end of Ruvik, but there are some pretty heavy hints towards the end of the game that he's managed to put his consciousness into the body of Leslie, the straight-jacketed oddball you encountered throughout Sebastian's adventure. So what's going on? Is Ruvik still alive? If so, what's he up to now? Evil stuff? It's probably evil stuff, isn't it? The plot of The Evil Within 2 involves Sebastian going back into STEM, the big brain-linking project that in the first game was controlled by Ruvik. With Ruvik out of the picture, or is he, we need a new host for the nightmarish mental world in which we'll find ourselves. According to returning character Juli Kidman, that host is none other than Sebastian's daughter Lily, who we were led to believe died in a house fire.
We staged her death. We used her mind to create another STEM system. And now she's trapped inside it. Lily needs you. This is your chance to save her. To get back what you lost.
We know what a world shaped by Ruvik's subconscious looks like, but what can we expect from a world shaped by the mind of a child? If you were hoping for something a bit more PG, then you're out of luck if the trailers so far are anything to go by.
Lily?
Considering we're in Lily's subconscious, there seems to be a lot of camera-related imagery in The Evil Within 2, with trailers released so far featuring nightmarish camera monsters, lights, and an eyeball with a mechanical aperture.
And as I try to make my way.
Also, what appears to be milk everywhere. What subliminal terror does that relate to? And what's the significance of the penguin? Was it a beloved stuffed toy? A memory of a trip to the zoo? I'm guessing nothing good either way. Through Sebastian's journals in the first Evil Within, we know that Sebastian was married to another detective called Myra. Myra disappeared while investigating the fire and left a note for Sebastian saying that she had gotten too close to the truth, which is a cool and exciting setup which then completely failed to pay off. So where is Myra? Is she dead? Is she in STEM? Did she decamp to a less terrifying video game franchise? I do hope time will tell. For our money, the most terrifying monster in The Evil Within was Reborn Laura, a nightmarish vision of Ruvik's sister Laura who, coincidentally enough, died in a fire, much like Lily was supposed to have done. It didn't do great things for her personality. In Evil Within 2 gameplay revealed so far, we keep seeing this figure who bears more than a passing resemblance to Laura. So who is this? What do they want? Could this be a version of Myra in the same way the Laura creature was a version of Laura? And can it go away now, please? I think we can all agree that's the most pressing question here.
Now it's time to see what's in the comments and the new avatar options coming to Xbox Live. Rideable unicorn with customizable main colours.
They got my letters!
First up this week, your comments about last week's show, which looked at Shadow of War, and the Tolkien games less enjoyable than getting your head stuck in the crack of Mount Doom.
Shadow of War increases the scope of the Nemesis system hugely, applying it to your allies as well as your foes, and though orcs and subtlety don't usually go hand in hand, developer Monolith is adding much more nuance to the personalities of individual Uruk-hai.
Max Littlewood loves the game's nuanced approach, adding much more nuance. We bring war! Loving those subtle characteristics.
No more talk! We bring war!
Hey, that is subtle for orcs.
Yeah, if you ask one the time, they just stab you.
Big stabs represent the hours, small stabs represent the minutes.
Oh, that makes sense.
Commenter Iron Hider, meanwhile, says, I'd like to think that the game Shadowfax is representative of what Gandalf was going through when he was becoming the White Wizard.
Wow, no wonder his hair went white.
And commenter No Birth, No Death took issue with my criticism of the Hobbit text adventure, saying, all the drama that black text on a grey background can muster? You know that's how books work too, right? Books?
Whoa, it's like a video game you play with your eyes.
Moving on, here are your comments on this video of Jane and Andy playing the new Call of Duty game set in World War II, which they've named Call of Duty World War II.
Someone's got
no,
smoke.
that's fine. You're immune to shell shock, so...
Oh, am I? Oh,
yeah,
great.
Because of your infantry class.
I will never be shell-shocked.
Never. There's a guy... Yes! Yes! Oh no, it was an assist.
Oh, what?
Okay, that's only half an air
Shameful
horn.
assist.
That's what you get for... You
I
get
get a
half an air
portion of
horn.
air horn.
Some discussion of how the new perks work, such as this from Captain Zach, who says, immune to shell shock? So does the game follow your character after the war? Do we see him retire to a farmhouse, raise kids, grow old? Man, that's deep.
And you were worried there wouldn't be enough depth to this one.
See, you're so highly trained
Yeah.
that you're just...
Yeah.
Your instincts take over.
I mean, arguably not highly trained if I'm shooting friendlies.
Daniel Walsh, meanwhile, sums up this Let's Play thusly. Andy, you're so highly trained. Jane, throws random grenade. Whee!
What? That requires some training. Or Practice, at least. See?
Right,
All right.
we're on Point de Hoc, which is French for Bridge of Hoc.
Bridge of Hoc. That's Pont de Hoc.
Pont, not point.
It's
All
a
right, it's French
Hoc
for
point.
Point of Hoc.
Right. Oh god, we've already failed the French
Hoc
portion of
point.
Call of Duty.
I
World
failed
War
basic
II.
training of French.
Commenter Lord Schmuck the Unbeatable, meanwhile, is more concerned with your energy levels, saying, "Geez, Andy and Jane, how much coffee did you drink before playing?"
Just the normal amount.
What number is that?
Who's even counting?
At least clear up the mugs when you're done. Moving on. Moving on. Here are your comments on this video about the times you got the wrong idea from a game's demo.
Sometimes, however, video game demos are nothing like what you get in the finished game, from the characters that you play as, to the story of the actual game, and sometimes even the way you play it. Just consider these times the demo was far from representative of what you ended up playing in the game proper.
Some excellent suggestions from you lot, such as this from Sid Samuel, who says, "What about PT, which gave you the idea that the game might come out?"
Too soon, Sid, too soon.
Meanwhile, commenter Eclipse the Wyvern says, "Sonic Unleashed is considered to be the low point of the series." Glances over at Sonic Boom. Yeah, the low point.
The low point of the series that we acknowledge exists.
Right, like Sonic 06.
Never heard of it. Finally, commenter Nick MS says, "They should have had James do one of the segments so that they could have had their gag about this video being misrepresentative of the channel."
Sadly, if we let James speak, we do have to pay him more. It's union rules.
Hey, I... Nice try. We'll just bleep all of that.
Well, we'll definitely have to bleep that. I'm gonna head back in. What are you gonna do?
Oh, I sent off for Jane's panic stabbing pamphlet and now I'm a Call of Duty pro, so I was gonna sneak up on her and thank her.
That's a good idea. I think she's polishing her knives right now.
Perfect time to surprise her. I'll see you later.
That's it for Show of the Week, but before you go, can I interest you in my follow-up pamphlet, which introduces the patented Jane Panic Press the Like button system.
That sounds great, but how does it work?
You panic, and then you press the like button as a defensive reflex.
So easy.
Yeah, and anyone can do it.
Could the people at home do it right now?
I believe in them.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. All right, lunch.
I can't, Andy. Now that I'm a pro gamer, the only thing I consume is energy drinks that sponsor me. Yeah, let's get lunch.